Welcome back, everybody, to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise here on Madden 21. Today, our 7-1 Jaguars have some primetime inter-division football as we are going to be taking on the 3-5 Tennessee Titans. Our Jaguars have a very convincing lead in the AFC South currently. The past two seasons were very tough battles to see who'd win the division, but this year, not so much, considering we have the best record in the NFL. We are over a game ahead of everybody in the AFC, and we are the only team in our division who's over 500. We're currently 4 games above the Colts and Titans, and we're 6 above the Texans. So before we get to today's game, I do have a prospect profile here in which we will be going over the offensive skill position players in this draft class, so running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Let's start at the running back position. This is a very interesting spot for us. We do have R.J. Ewell, the second-year pro out of East Carolina. Ewell was picked in the 4th round a few years back, and he's definitely been a pleasant surprise. Ewell is a good player, but will he ever be a great player? I don't know if he can be a consistent every down back in his career. J.K. Dobbins has been a nice change of pace guy for us the past 2 seasons, but his contract is up at the end of the year, and he's played a lot worse this year than last year, not only as a runner, but also in the receiving game, so I'm not convinced I want to bring him back for next year, and it can't just be R.J. Ewell in the backfield. If we do go the route of picking running back early, then I do have good news, because this draft class is absolutely loaded at the running back position, not only at the top, but throughout the draft. There are a lot of really good players, so excited to introduce you to some of them, starting with the top projected running back in this class, Gilly Booklink, out of Florida State University. Booklink is the prototype for the modern NFL back. Not only is he dangerous as a runner, but he is great in the receiving game. And in order to be a great running back in today's NFL, you have to be a really good receiver. And that's exactly what Booklink can bring to the table. It's hard to find weaknesses in his game, but he does not have a great motor, and he's not overly powerful. He doesn't have a gigantic frame. 5'10", 202 isn't small per se, but I mean, he's not winning with his power. He's winning with his receiving ability and his quickness and speed. He is projected to go in the top 5. Now, do I think he'll be a top 5 pick? No, probably not. But I do expect Booklink to definitely be a first rounder and most likely the first running back off the board. The second projected running back off the board is McKinley LaCroix out of the University of Virginia. LaCroix is the total package when you look for a running back. He's extremely well-rounded. He's quick and shifty, he has good power, and he's good in the receiving game as well. Again, this is another player where it's really hard to find weaknesses in his game. He doesn't have elite athleticism, and he does fumble it a little bit too often, so if he can just clean it up with the football, I think he'll be a really, really good player and someone who's going to be able to contribute as an every down runner very early in his NFL career. He is projected to go in the late 1st round. I'm not sure if he will go round 1, but at the latest, he'll go early 2nd round and be someone who will make an impact right away. Let's take a look at the Westlake backfield. The Hornets have a couple of senior running backs, including Irving Porter. Irving Porter has been a solid change of pace guy throughout his college career. His role sort of diminished with Isaiah Sparks' arrival, who we will be talking about in just a second. But Porter's been a very solid, consistent player for the Hornets the past 4 seasons. And his lack of touches at times should give him fresher legs, which should help with the longevity of his NFL career. The only problems with him are that he's a one-trick pony. He's not much of a power back, considering he's only 5'9", 189, and he's not much of a receiver. It's also worth noting that he was only the 3rd leading rusher on Westlake's roster last year, with obviously Isaiah Sparks at the top, and sophomore Matt Miller also ahead of him. Let's now take a look at Sparks, who, of course, for all who follow the Westlake series, you all know that Isaiah Sparks had an awesome season this past year. He ran for 39 touchdowns, which broke Barry Sanders' record for most rushing touchdowns in a season. Sparks, of course, did not win the Heisman Trophy. He was absolutely robbed, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he had an outstanding season. He's impossible to stop in the open field. He has elite speed, quickness, power, change of direction. He really gives you all you want. He's not an elite receiver, although he did show promise in improving that this past season, but he's only projected to go in the 3rd round, which seems odd because he's an early first talent. He had some off-the-field issues in high school. He got expelled as a high school senior, went JUCO for a year, and then came to Westlake. He He's been able to clean up the off-field stuff and has not had any issues in college, but there are some teams concerned with his past, and that's why he might drop down the boards. The player who Sparks lost to in the Heisman race is UCF quarterback Robert Madsen. Why am I showing Madsen with the running backs, though? That's because many NFL scouts don't believe that he has an NFL arm. Madsen did run for 13 touchdowns this year, so it's not like he cannot run at all, and I do think he'd be a fine player for running back position. However, I think he would be better fit as a quarterback. He's never played a game of running back in his life. Some people, myself included, do believe he is an NFL arm, so I think the team who drafts him could always move him back to quarterback, and I think worst case, he could have a Taysom Hill-like role. He's undrafted talent as a running back, but I think he would be a lot better as a quarterback. So that'll do it for running backs. Now on to wide receivers, and this is another position I'm considering addressing in the offseason. DJ Chark and Casey Shock at the top are great. There's not a whole lot to talk about them, but who was our long-term wide receiver 3? We do have a few options. Zeke Bowman, Joshua Thomas, and Mookie Baker have all shown flashes, and I think Thomas is the best shot to be our long-term wide receiver 3. But I'd be lying if I said I was not considering using an early pick in the upcoming draft on a wide receiver. This wide receiver class is really good. There are a bunch of very talented first and second round projected guys. There are also a lot of good players down the board. So let me introduce you to some of the more interesting receivers in this class, starting at Eastern Washington University, where we take a look at Lucky Gaddett. If you remember in the quarterback video, one of the projected first-round quarterbacks was Siguns Romanovskis, a.k.a. the Latvian Laser, out of Eastern Washington. Well, this is the Latvian Laser's favorite target. Gaddett is a very interesting player. At 6'1", 200 pounds, he has good frame and athleticism. He is a very good route runner, and he's a great separator. He does a very good job of releasing off the line of scrimmage. But many skeptics believe that he is made by his good quarterback. He was not that special of a player before Siguns Romanovskis arrived, and if there's one issue with his game, it is catching the football. He is a little bit inconsistent with his hands, but he has the route running ability, he has the athleticism, he has the size. I think he could be really good. Arguably the fastest player in this draft class is Westlake wideout Tegan Moon. Obviously, with Isaiah Sparks being the leader of the Westlake offense, the pass game wasn't as dominant this year as it has been in past years, but Westlake does have multiple talented receivers in this class, including Moon. Tegan Moon's been a very reliable slot receiver the past few seasons, but with his size and speed, I think he does have the versatility to play on the outside. He rarely drops routine passes as well, some of the better hands in this class, but he is a little bit inconsistent as a short and medium route runner. Even as someone who has a lot of experience in the slot, he is a little bit weak there, and he is not a great separator off the line of scrimmage. He does have to improve that, but I think Tegan Moon could be a really solid second-round pick. Also on the Westlake receiving core, there is Cassius Troy, the 4-year starter on the outside. Troy has been very consistent for the Westlake Hornets ever since he stepped on campus. Standing at 6'3", over 200 pounds, Troy has the ideal size and frame you would look for in a wide receiver. He's a very well-rounded player, he has good athleticism, and he also has reliable hands. He does not drop a ton of passes. He was never an alpha receiver in college, nor was he in high school, so I think that could be concerning. I think he would be a really good second or third option in an NFL offense, but I don't think he'll ever be that true number one receiver. He is also not a great short or medium route runner. He does have to improve a little bit there. Let's take a look at the University of Kansas now. Yes, the Jayhawks churning in some football talent. I know that's very rare for them. This is D.D. Winter Blossom, one of the biggest breakout stars of this year's college football season. Winter Blossom is one of the best route runners in this entire draft class. He also does not drop a ton of passes, making him extremely polished. He has good athleticism. He doesn't have elite speed, but he is a high-level athlete, and he's a very smart player. He's a film junkie. He understands coverages and opposing defenses. He's not a great separator off the line of scrimmage, and he does not have elite upside, but he does have an elite work ethic, and he's a really smart player. Projected to go in the late first, early second round, he does have mid-first talent, and I think he could be a really solid player who is projected to pick right around where the Jaguars are at the end of the first round. The final and best wide receiver we'll be looking at is Kayvon McDaniels out of Clemson. McDaniels has an interesting story. He had his true freshman season at UCLA, transferred to Clemson, sat out, and then this year as a redshirt sophomore, he has gone off. At 6'6", 215 pounds, his size and athleticism is absurd. He is the same build of Calvin Johnson. He doesn't have Calvin's skill set, but he has that same size and speed. He also does not drop a ton of passes. You'd think for someone who's kind of raw, he'd have inconsistent hands, but that's not the case. He is a little bit inconsistent as a route runner. He needs to develop his route tree, and some scouts think he is a very low floor despite his high ceiling. So picking him might be a little bit of a risk, but I think some team in the top 10 or top 15 picks is going to take a chance on him. The final position we're going to be looking at is tight end. The Jaguars are in an interesting position here at tight end. Of course, there's David Njoku as the starter. Njoku's a very good player when he's on the field, and that's a big contingency. Njoku's had some medical question marks. He only played 12 games last year. Then, if you remember in the wild card round, he had like 100 yards in the first half, got injured in the second half, and missed the rest of the game. He's been pretty healthy this year. He's played all 8 games, but he has been fairly banged up at times. He's suffered a few smaller injuries, and he is on the last year of his contract. I don't know if he's a player we're going to want to bring back. We do have a few guys behind him in Daniel Romer and Simba Azikiwe, who are 2 intriguing players, specifically Azikiwe, who I would love to get more involved in the offense, but tight end is another position I would consider looking at, and it is a strong tight end class. So as you can see, this class is really good when it comes to the skill positions, strong running back, receiver, and tight end. Let's take a look at arguably the best tight end prospect in this entire franchise series thus far, Deontay Cunningham out of Cincinnati. Think a smaller version of Kyle Pitts. I mean, his athleticism and size, he's just a mismatch at the tight end position. He's a wide receiver in a tight end's body pretty much. Most tight ends are best in the short game, but he is best in the deep game. He can really stretch the field vertically, and he doesn't drop many passes. He is not great against zone, but he's phenomenal against man. He outruns linebackers, and he's more physical than defensive backs. He is an average blocker. He does need to improve that, but this kid is super, super talented. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a chance for the Jags to pick him since he's going to go way earlier. But if the Jaguars wanted to put all their chips in a massive trade-up and get him, I really wouldn't blame them. The final player we're going to be looking at out of the University of Villanova is tight end Kareem Al-Rahman. Al-Rahman is only projected to go, I believe, in the 4th or 5th round, so he's probably going to be a day 3 pick, but I really like his upside. He's a tight end with a basketball background. We've seen guys like Antonio Gates and Jimmy Graham who have had basketball backgrounds flourish in the NFL. Al-Rahman stands at 6'11", nearly 270 pounds. He was a scholarship player on Villanova's basketball roster, and Villanova is a great basketball school for what it's worth, so that is significant. He's raw and newer to the game of football, but his athletic upside could be really hard for a team to pass up early on day 3. So that'll do it for the prospect profile. Let me know which of those guys you think we should draft in the offseason. I think our offense is a skill position guy or 2 away from really being one of the most dynamic offenses in the NFL. Speaking of dynamic players, we have to face off against Derrick Henry today, as you can see. That won't be fun. But what is nice is we are getting 2 of our offensive starters back. Casey Shock returns to the lineup, and Mike Rhodes will as well. So currently our only injury is starting right tackle Orlando Brown, who's going to miss another 3 weeks with his abdominal tear. Let's take a look at the Titans now. Of course, they are led by superstar running back Derrick Henry. Henry was injured the first 2 times these teams met during the season, but this time he will be healthy. It's going to be a massive challenge for the Jaguars defense today. On the bright side, they don't really have to worry about the pass game all that much because, unfortunately, Matthew Stafford's not playing very well this year. And as a Lions fan, this does kind of pain me to see. But Stafford is really regressing, and I don't think the Lions regret moving on from him because, for what it's worth, rookie quarterback Jaden Gorman-Young is an absolute beast. He has superstar development. He threw 5 touchdowns in his first NFL start, and he's been really, really good. So, yeah, props on the Lions. He's probably been the best rookie quarterback in this class, either him or Aiden Kent's. Unfortunately, Keith Fleming has not been all that good yet with Carolina, but for the Titans' sake, they're probably going to look to draft a quarterback early next year. The rest of this roster is fairly similar to what the Titans have in real life, for what it's worth, with a few smaller changes. So let's get this game underway. Week 10 primetime football here in Nashville, Tennessee. The 7-1 Jacksonville Jaguars trying to win their 8th straight game, taking on the 3-5 Tennessee Titans. The Titans' playoff hopes are not looking too hot at the moment, especially with poor play from quarterback Matthew Stafford. We'll see if he's able to pick it up today and possibly help the Titans to an upset victory. Tennessee starting with the ball here in the first quarter. It's 3rd and 3, and Stafford has to throw it in the dirt. Nice pressure by the Jags, forcing the early 3-and-out, and that will bring the offense out onto the field. Coco and Wosu joined by J.K. Dobbins in the backfield to play action fake. Coco scrambling to the left side, looking to throw it. He has all day, and he connects with an open man. It's David Njoku to the 34. I guess Njoku heard the rumblings from me earlier that we're not so sold on bringing him back yet, so he's probably going to want to have a really big game today. 2nd and 5, Coco scrambling with it. Short throw for Casey Shock, who gets around 8 yards, but the bigger story on this play is going to be the roughing the passer call against the Titans, and that'll bring Jacksonville to the 10. The flag is on former first-round pick Jeffrey Simmons, who's developed into a really good player for Tennessee. First down in the end zone, it's Zeke Bowman for the touchdown, and Jacksonville is on the board. Bowman knows he has a lot to prove if he wants to be the long-term wide receiver 3 on this team. And hey, that's a nice play to get the ball rolling, I suppose. 3rd and 5 for the Titans. Stafford connects with Josh Reynolds, who makes a nice play to the 49-yard line. Ironic that Reynolds signed with the Titans in real life and in the game. I found that kind of odd. Anyway, following play from the 49-yard line. Let's see if the Titans can gain some momentum after that first down as Derrick Henry gets the rock, demolishes Miles Jack, and gets the first down. Yeah, I think Jaguar defensive players are not going to have fun facing off against Derrick Henry today. First down is a short throw for the tight end, Jonnu Smith. Multiple missed tackles by Jaguar defenders, and Smith gains 35 yards, bringing it to the 3. That was Bob Adams with the initial missed tackle, and obviously that proved to bite the Jaguars in the rear end. 3rd and goal now from the 3. Just going to try to punch it in with Derrick Henry, and they are successful for a Tennessee Titan touchdown. So the Titans march down the field and tie the game up with around 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. A big play there for Tennessee, and we'll see what the Jaguars do on this possession. 3rd and 2 from the 45. Coco under pressure, heaves it up for Chark, and it's incomplete. And look at this! Coco is 6 for 9 with 69 yards. Nice. What's not nice, however, is that the Jaguars had to pump the ball away, and the Titans had it back. Nearing the end of the first quarter, it's 3rd and 4. Stafford looking to throw it. He has an open man again. It's Jonnu Smith, who makes a nice play, breaking his way to the 46-yard line. Good start for Jonnu Smith. He already has 3 early catches. That'll do it for the first quarter. Tied at 7, both offenses are looking pretty solid up to this point. And Matthew Stafford, who's had a pretty rough season, is not looking too shabby today. 3rd and inches from the 44-yard line for the Titans. We'll see if they're able to get this first down. They do. Derrick Henry and more breaking tackles, bringing it to the 28-yard line. Derrick Henry can turn a gain of 4 for most players into a gain of 16 because he's just that physically imposing. 2nd and 10 now for Tennessee. Stafford going to drop back and throw it. Stafford has time, now under a little bit of pressure, and he is sacked by Rashawn Babineau. The Jaguars' pass rush has not been great these past few weeks, ever since they broke the NFL record for sacks in a game with 15 a few games back against the Steelers. 3rd and 20, it's a screen for Derrick Henry. There's no way he gets this, right? Wrong! Henry not only gets the first down, but he will find the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah, Derrick Henry is really good at football. The Jaguars are lucky that they did not have to face off against him earlier in the season since he was hurt. But so far, Derrick Henry has done Derrick Henry-esque things in this game, and he has proven to be a problem. Look at that nasty stiff arm on Julius Williams. Adams and Henderson run into each other, and Derrick Henry just does the rest. A beautiful touchdown for the Titans, and they now lead 14-7. Jags back on offense. Coco and Wosu on first down. A nice throw into the hands of DJ Chark, who brings it to the 38. Now from the 40, 2nd down for the Jags. Coco, short throw for Casey Shock. Welcome back, Casey. Obviously, he's been out the past few weeks with an injury, but when he's been healthy, he's been really good this season. It's been very nice having Casey Shock elevate his play from last year into another level. 3rd and 5 from the 7. Short throw into the hands of David Njoku for the touchdown, and Jacksonville will tie the game up at 14. A nice drive ending off with a touchdown. 2 passing scores so far here in the first half for Coco, and we are knotted up at 14 with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Titans have it back and to try to get the lead before halftime. As Stafford on first down with a strike into the hands of Corey Davis, who brings it to the 47. Davis is injured on the play. That could be pretty significant as he is quite a good player. 2nd and 1 from the 33-yard line now. It's a play-action fake for Henry. Deep ball going for the end zone. It's caught! A.J. Brown with the touchdown. Zaire Wiggins tried to play for the ball, and it did not pay off. Wiggins has 9 interceptions in the first 8 games of the season, so I don't really blame him for trying to play the ball, but that time it backfired. Stafford with a beautiful dart for the end zone, and A.J. Brown with a nice grab despite Wiggins nearly getting what would have been his 10th interception of the season. So the Jags have it back on offense, 3rd and 6, that pass incomplete. A nice 3-and-out stop for the Titans defense, and now they have the opportunity to take a possible 2-score lead before halftime. We'll see if they can do it. 2nd and 10, Stafford looking to throw it, connects with a wide open receiver. That's a nice first down for Tennessee. That's former first-round draft pick Tyrone Christmas, the second-year man out of Clemson. Now from the 29, following play, it's a screen for Derrick Henry, and Josh Allen is right there to make the play. Allen's been pretty quiet today. Obviously, he has had an outstanding season, and it is a contract year for Josh Allen. He's definitely raised his price tag, but so far he has struggled a little bit. 3rd and 13, the Titans are just going to play it safe and run the ball. Derrick Henry only gets around 4 or 5, so the Jags get the stop. They call time, and with about 15 seconds, they're probably just going to try for a big play. Coco scrambling with it. He tries to dump it off to Dobbins, but is sacked at the last second, and the Titans call timeout. And that is how the first half will come to a close. A tight offensive battle up to this point. Titans currently on top 21-14. Matthew Stafford has looked quite impressive in this game. He's 13 of 18, 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. Coco Nwosu has played pretty well also, so both quarterbacks wheeling and dealing at the moment. We'll see if the high scoring can continue here in the second half. Jags start the ball. R.J. Ewell with the carry. He is blocks. Ewell into open space. A 74-yard touchdown. Well, maybe not. He showboats at the 1-yard line and gets brought down, so I spoke too soon. But still, a very nice 73-yard run for Ewell, even though he was getting a little bit cocky there at the end. 1st and goal, Ewell loses 4, wrapped up by Austin Cotter. So it looks like the showboating from R.J. Ewell might bite Jacksonville in the butt. 3rd and goal, Dobbins with the handoff and the touchdown. So Jacksonville will score anyway, but instead of Ewell, it's Dobbins with the touchdown, and this game is now knotted up at 21. A very quick drive there from Jacksonville. It could have been quicker had R.J. Ewell not been an idiot, but that's neither here nor there. Tied at 21, Titans with the ball here, their first drive of the 3rd quarter. Stafford connects with an open man. It's Jonnu Smith up the middle. Big performance here so far for Smith. It's been no secret that the Jaguars have had troubles covering tight ends the past few seasons, and today has been, well, no different. 3rd and 11 from the 48. It's another screen for Henry. He breaks the tackle from Chason, but is wrapped up by Zaire Wiggins at the 41-yard line. Wiggins has not just been an interception machine. He's one of Jacksonville's leading tacklers, and it's not because he allows a lot of catches. It's because he knows how to track the ball, and he's one of the better tackling corners in the NFL. 4th and 4 from the 41. The Titans are going to go for it. Did he get it? They say no. Excellent tackle by Bob Adams to prevent A.J. Brown from doing anything after he caught the ball. In real time, I thought Brown had the first down, but They will not give it to him. So a great play by the rookie Bob Adams. So the Jags get the ball back. A very good start to the third quarter here for Jacksonville as they now try to take the lead. Short throw caught in the hands of Casey Shock, who is pushed out at the 47-yard line. There definitely seems to be an extra pep in the step of this Jaguars offense with Casey Shock returning. David Njoku now with a nice play to the 33-yard line. Njoku's had a pretty nice day today. I've been quite impressed with him. 3rd and 7 now from the 30. Coco scrambling. He's going to look like he'll run for the first down, and he is successful, gaining 14 yards, bringing it to the 16-yard line for a nice conversion, and the Jags now find themselves in the red zone. 3rd and 6 from the 12. Coco scrambling to his left side. It's a short throw for Dobbins, who breaks a tackle. What a first down by J.K. Dobbins. It did not look like he was going to get it, but somehow he did, bringing it to the 5, and now the Jags have an easy opportunity to punch it in. 2nd and goal from the 4. Nwosu to Dobbins. Touchdown, Jacksonville. J.K. Dobbins with his 2nd touchdown of the 3rd quarter. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are now going to be back on top. It's 28-21. A phenomenal first 7 minutes of the 3rd quarter here for the Jags. And we'll see if the Titans can try to gain some momentum back. 2nd and 8. It's a short throw for Henry, and this time it does not work out. The Titans have really tried a lot of short passes for Henry, and for the most part it has worked. That time it did not. Rashawn Babineau brought him down. The Titans would have to punt it away. So the Jags have it back. 2nd and 3. Dobbins with the first down. Bounces off his blocker from one 47-yard line to the other. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. All Jacksonville in that frame as the Jags lead it now 28-21, and they had the ball with prime field position. 3rd and 11 from the 38. It's a short pass for Dobbins. That won't get the first down, but that will officially push Jacksonville into field goal range, as it'll be a 47-yard kick for Volker Gantz, who has only missed 2 field goals on the season. This one looks good, and it is good. Right down Main Street. Another beautiful kick from Volker. And the Jaguars are now on top by 10, 31-21, and Jacksonville's outscored the Titans 17-0 here in the second half. 2nd and 5 for the Titans. Stafford throws it right into the hands of Zaire Wiggins. Wiggins has a few blocks down the field, and that'll be a pick 6 for Wiggins. His 10th interception of the season, his 2nd pick 6 of the year. I don't want to give Wiggins a lot of credit for that interception because Stafford threw it right in his hands, but Wiggins made a great play after the interception, maneuvering past offensive linemen, and he is able to get the pick 6. So a great play there for Wiggins, who continues his just astronomically incredible season, and it is now 38-21. The Jaguars now all of a sudden find themselves up by 3 possessions. On 3rd down, Stafford throws it away, but it'll be a roughing the passer penalty on Josh Allen. So an automatic first down for the Titans. This is probably Josh Allen's first bad game of the season. He's been outstanding the first 8. Today he's looked a little bit shaky, but I do want to cut him some slack. He's been insanely good this year. First down, a short pass for Jonnu Smith, who breaks the tackle, wrapped up at the 36 by Jack. Even though the Titans are down by 17, and even though they've had a very bad second half, they are not going to quit, although there's only 5.5 minutes left. 2nd and 10, Stafford. Nice throw for Corey Davis, who has returned from the game after getting injured earlier. He brings it to the 13, wrapped up by first-round rookie Josh Jordan Jr., who's had a pretty quiet game today. 3rd and 3 from the 6. Stafford, short throw. It's caught for a touchdown by Josh Reynolds, and the Titans will cut into the lead a little bit. They're now only down by 10, but there is just under 4 minutes left to go. There's not a lot of time left. 3rd and 4. Can the Titans get the stop? They do. The pass for Casey Shock is broken up by Marquez Garland, and the Titans will now get it back with an opportunity to make it a 1-score game. Stafford connects with Davis, who breaks the tackle, tries to hurdle the defender. He is unsuccessful, but still gets the first down. 2nd and 10 now from the 39. 2:40 left to go here in regulation. Stafford, short throw for Derrick Henry, jukes past Adams, gets the first down past midfield. And the Titans offense, after a pretty bad 3rd quarter and bad start to the 4th quarter, now they're actually doing some things, but it might be too little too late. First down, final play before the 2-minute warning, back to Davis. to the 30. Corey Davis has been really good here in the fourth quarter. He has toyed with C.J. Henderson. Meanwhile, on the other side, the only play A.J. Brown's really made today is the touchdown. He has been locked up by Zaire Wiggins. Deep ball for Davis here on 3rd and 14. It's incomplete, wrapped up by C.J. Henderson. So now 4th and 14. The Titans are going to go for the field goal. It's Wagner from 50, and it's good. That's not a bad call because it's now only a one-score game, but the Titans are not going for the onside kick. The Jags were ready for the onside, but the Titans decided not to. A little bit surprised by that call. The Titans do have all 3 timeouts, but the Jags can chew some clock and end this game. 2nd and 4. That'll be a first down for R.J. Ewell, and it looks like the decision to not go for the onside is proving to be a bad one. 3rd and 1. Dobbins with the handoff. He gets the first, and that will officially do it. A little bit too close for comfort there at the end, but a nice win here for the Jaguars, 38-31 on primetime over their divisional rivals, and Jacksonville improves to 8-1 on the season. So even if the Jaguars were to lose out, they would still finish with a 500 record, but at this point, that would be pretty disastrous. We did not really have to throw the ball a lot in the second half. Coco had a great first half, but he didn't have to do a whole lot in the second half. Stafford, meanwhile, did have to play hero ball, and other than the interception he threw early in the fourth quarter, I was impressed with Matthew Stafford. I think he played quite well. Coco was efficient, nothing crazy, but still solid. R.J. Ewell, the big second half, mainly in thanks to that 73-yard run that should have been a touchdown. Derrick Henry was good in the run game and the receiving game. 2 touchdowns for Dobbins. Jonnu Smith with 6 catches for 108 yards. Casey Shock was the Jags' leading receiver. He had 66. And then defensively, not a lot of sacks, only 1 per team. Babineau had 1, and Garland had 1. And of course, Zaire Wiggins with another interception and another pick 6. He continues to just be absolutely insane. So that will conclude our Week 10 game. That'll pretty much conclude our episode. Next time, we're going to be sticking in the state of Florida, headed down to Tampa Bay to take on the 3-6 Bucks, who are, of course, led by rookie quarterback Aiden Kentz. We are now 8-1. We are 2 games ahead of second place in the AFC, so even if we were to lose next week, we would still be in first place. Eric Bieniemy now, by the way, is the favorite for Coach of the Year, so that certainly makes me feel good. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and as always, have a good one. I'm out. Peace.